Hi everyone. What is the relationship between science and Christianity? In the last video I explained why I don't see any conflict between the book of Genesis and modern science, and how the conflict for me is actually with naturalism. Naturalism is the idea that the physical processes of the world are unguided by God. Today I want to get into another problem that I see with naturalism, and why I think that Christianity actually provides a far better basis for science itself than naturalism. Let's get into it. Hi everyone, I'm Matthew White. This is Sceptics Space. And on this channel, we look at big and complicated questions about God and faith. So if there's a particular question you'd like to see us address, then feel free to comment on this video below with the question. In his book, The Blind Watchmaker, atheist Richard Dawkins describes natural selection as a blind, unconscious, automatic process. The subtitle of the book tells us where Dawkins is coming from. It says, "Why the evidence of evolution reveals a universe without design." The thing to notice in what Dawkins says there is his assumption of naturalism. Evolution is assumed to be blind, unconscious, and automatic. But this notion of unguided physical processes is far from being a scientific claim. It's actually a metaphysical and theological claim, with just as many beliefs and assumptions underpinning it as a religious position. But there's another problem with naturalism. Clearly, Dawkins believes that his interpretation of evolution is true. But if atheistic naturalism is right, the human mind serves evolutionary success, not truth. If human life is simply the result of blind, unconscious processes, why should we trust our cognitive faculties in the first place? So you see, naturalism for me cuts itself off the very branch that it's sat on. It tells us that science is important, that truth is important, but then it gives us theories that shackle the human mind to blind, unconscious processes of survival rather than truth. However, if evolution is said to be guided by God, then it is entirely reasonable to believe that our minds are fitted to understand the natural laws that we see around us. Think for a moment of the incredible success of science in the 16th and 17th century. Scientists like Galileo, Copernicus, Kepler, and Newton expected to find law-like nature in the world because they believed in a divine lawgiver. Unlike naturalism, Christianity says that we can trust our cognitive faculties because they are created by God, along with the rest of the natural world. Science assumes that the universe is intelligible both externally in nature and internally in our minds. But what is the foundation for that belief? What is the best foundation for that belief? Is it naturalism, which shackles our cognitive processes essentially to survival? Or is it Christianity, which gives us a world created by God and minds genuinely fitted to understand the natural world? Personally, I think Christianity provides a better basis for science than naturalism, and avoids some of the incoherency in the naturalist position. And actually, it uniquely encourages and nurtures scientific inquiry, as the history of science clearly shows. Far from Christianity standing in the way of scientific progress, it actually energizes and enriches the scientific task, encouraging us to find patterns in nature and to be able to trust the deductions we can make with our minds based on the evidence. With naturalism, however, both the integrity of our cognitive processes and also the intelligibility of the universe are ultimately called into question by its own logic. In a few weeks, I'll be talking about the central role of emotions and subjectivity in both science and religion. And also, I'm looking forward to looking at the question of what it means to call something evidence, and what it might mean to use that word evidence when it's applied to God. What does it mean to say that there is evidence for or against God's existence? And how does science speak into that? Really looking forward to that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.